Hey y'all, happy Monday. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys enjoyed your weekend. While you are here, y'all already know what I'm going to say, so go ahead and do it. Like the video and hit subscribe if you are feeling the vibe. We are on our journey to 11K, so we're almost there, and I appreciate all the love and support you guys have shown me. I truly, truly do, so thank you for staying tuned. Y'all already know about my personal channel. I have day in the life of, story time, how I manifested my fiance, my journey, life after divorce. I was married and then got divorced, and I had 3 kids with that person, so it's definitely been a journey. So I, do recordings of little life updates, my engagement story, just all that kind of stuff. And plus I do remote work. I post videos every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays of remote work, specifically on Fridays, non-phone based positions. So non-incoming calls or call center positions I post on Fridays. I did just post earlier today also an overnight remote job position. I've had people say that they're looking for overnight positions, so positions that's at nighttime, so they can supplement their income or just because they don't have childcare. So definitely, if you're interested in that, I will link the personal channel in the comments below. Now, today we are back, y'all, talking about these married men and women who mess with married men. Okay, so what got people talking, which I'm sure all of y'all have seen this by now. I just had to talk about it though. But what got people talking is Kevin Gates showed up to DDG's Twitch stream with Brittany Renner. Now, of course, all these rumors are going on that he's messing with her, they're engaged, all this kind of stuff. The whole time, though, apparently, he got a girl named Persia in her feelings because she said they've been in a relationship this whole time. And so she exposed their phone conversation. And it just got a whole bunch of people talking about him and Brittany Renner, talking about where's Dreka, just all this stuff. And we are going to dive right on into it, y'all. And after you hear me right now on this recording, you're going to automatically hear the phone conversation that she had with Kevin. You're going to hear her vent about it. You're going to hear other creators talk about it. And then we going to have the conversation because this needs to be had. So without further ado, go ahead and watch.
I had to find out through the internet that you lied to me when you could have. I literally told you to just keep it real and tell me, like.
Well, if you feel like I lied to you, then fuck it. I don't even know why we talking. I'm tired of talking about the same.
All right.
Now, please don't make me get angry.
You already are. You don't give a f. I'm angry too. I'm upset. I'm hurt. I told you you're the only man I fuck with, so I'm really hurt. I was genuine with you the whole time, bro. It's up, Kevin. Like, it really is. Whether you care or not, it's really. And I wish you would understand that. Sometimes it's not just about you and your selfishness. It's about other people, especially what you put them through. If you didn't give a fuck about me, you shouldn't have with me the way you did. And that's the part. Or you could have at least kept it real with me, because that's all I did with you, for real.
I'm not saying it because I was not thinking about nobody. I was just doing something to make myself laugh. That's all I was doing.
To making yourself laugh?
Yeah.
Knowing that even if you say you wasn't thinking about me, but I literally was just talking to you about how I felt about you.
I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking about myself because I'm dealing with a lot right now. So I really don't even care about what nobody else going through, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you never care, and that's the part. But seeing you and Brittany together, that's you could have told. I literally asked you about you and Brittany.
I don't think you know. But I don't feel like talking about this no more because it's not making my life peaceful.
Okay, so one last thing. Be honest. Are y'all are you and Brittany
No, we can't have sex till marriage.
But you guys are back fucking with each other. You guys are back together, right?
We can't have sex till marriage.
That's not my question. I'm saying, are you guys back fucking with each other?
I told you we can't have sex till marriage.
After all the shit you talked, you're still dealing with her. That's crazy. Just sick how I was just laid up with him. It's honestly just sick how I was just laid up with him and you seen it and decide to hit him up to meet up. Just disgusting. He called you washed several times and that you lost your glow. That just goes to show you how this man just uses women when it's beneficial to him. Just manipulative and narcissistic as you turned Muslim because it's a trend and it's honestly a mockery to the religion. Cut it out. Brittany, you preach that you don't want to deal with a man that deals with multiple women, yet you're dealing with one. How contradicting is that? And I'm all about being devoted to one God, but do it for the right reasons. You literally turned to Islam because you're on your last leg. Women always want to turn to religion as their last outlet. Was this the clout y'all was looking for? To make herself lit on her little show for Basketball Wives? Because she has no one else, obviously. Knowing that I was just laid up in the bed with you. I'm tired of this man with me when it's convenient or beneficial to him. I give too much love to be treated like this. And the one thing you've always told me is that I have a really big heart. And that's why men like you take advantage of it. I'm honestly tired of being the nice, cool, laid-back girl. I'm sick of it. Men need to learn to stop with our emotions. And I'm honestly more disappointed than I am hurt. And I knew what I was getting myself into with a rapper. But there's just certain things that are just way too disrespectful. At the end of the day, these men will lie to you, gaslight you, manipulate you, and embarrass the out of you. But lesson learned, I'ma just have to charge it to the game.
I want to make one thing very clear. I would never with a married man. This man told me he's legally separated, so that's that. I simply came onto this platform to express how I feel because I have every right to feel the way that I do. And to any other women that are going through the same thing, it's okay to stand up for yourself. Dealing with men that manipulate, gaslight, lie, all of that. I'm sick of it all. I'm sick of this man leading me on this whole time. You know, I in the beginning, I obviously believed everything, but as time progressed, I started to peep all of his. And again, like I said, I knew what I was getting myself into dealing with a rapper. I know there's going to be other girls around, but it's just the way he went about this situation that was real disrespectful. And now I'm getting threats from his team, from Miss Alvina, the same woman that was just applauding us last week because she was so happy to see us together and wanting to get a house together, and even asked if you could live in the guest house. Now you're mad at me for expressing how I feel? Now you hate me all of a sudden. People obviously didn't know what me and him had going on. I'm very private. I just believed everything that came out of that man's mouth, and that's my fault. I take accountability for that. Lesson learned, and that's all I really have to say.
And Kevin Gates is one of the biggest narcissists. He just got some good wordplay, because after listening to him and Persia's call about her being upset about him really being with Brittany Renner, it gives narcissists. And I see why him and Dreka really didn't make it, because we were sitting here thinking that they were in this blissful relationship, and the whole time he a psycho. The whole time he's a damn psycho.
I don't know much about Kevin Gates, but I'm starting to think he's a narcissist too. I really am starting to think Kevin Gates is the narcissist. And right now, Brittany Renner is his new supply. She's his new supply. Now, at first when Brittany Renner, she kind of started, changing their beliefs. I never really shun people for changing their beliefs, because when you know better, you do better. So I was like, okay, I'm glad she left from being to being a Muslim or whatever. I think, yeah, a Muslim. So I was like, okay, look, a lot of people was like shaming her and stuff, and I think it's crazy to shame somebody for doing better. I mean, that's crazy. That's like an alcoholic, you laughing at them for getting help, going to AA class or whatever. Like, that's crazy. But yes, I was like, okay, look at her. I'm happy for her. But now it's coming out that basically some people are saying that she always wanted Kevin Gates. Now, Brittany Renner is the new supply right now, because now I'm seeing a lot of things. Something tells me that she was waiting in the background of his marriage. Something tells me that she was doing that. And she formed a plan to become Muslim to get Kevin Gates. And right now she's the new supply, because I think Kevin Gates is technically still married, regardless of their beliefs or whatever. But I think he's still married. But right now, Brittany Renner is the new supply. I'm still just going to see how this story unfolds, but she's definitely the new supply. And something tells me that she kind of plotted to get him. But I guess we'll see as the story unfolds.
I'm so happy this situation is going on so I can talk about it without y'all feeling like I'm talking about my own relationship. Kevin Gates' little side chick is upset that he been with Brittany Renner, talking about something. I'm tired of being played with. Baby, you've been being played with from the beginning. You really think... First of all, this man is married. And then you made another post trying to help yourself. Talk to, oh no, he told me I was legally separated. Ladies, when y'all gonna stop being dumb? When? Like, I don't know, like, what be going on in y'all mind that y'all really be believing the stuff that these men be telling y'all. I'm legally separated. I'm not happy. I'm going to leave her for you. Like, y'all really be believing this stuff in 2025. This is stuff that's been going on since the beginning of time. This is why people grandfathers had families down the road, because women was believing the lies that they was telling. That man is not going to leave his wife. That man is not legally separated. Whenever he want to go over there to that farm ranch and see Dreka, he go over there and see Dreka. I don't know why y'all be falling for these lies. And I'm not even just talking about Kevin Gates' situation. It's real life side chicks out here who be believing what the man say. Like, oh, I'm going to leave her. I'm not happy. And then y'all be side years. Like years. Y'all be letting these men play with y'all for years. And y'all stay thinking, well, he told me he's not happy. He told me he really want to be with me. He just can't leave her because of the kids. Or he can't leave her because she going to put him on child support. Or he can't leave her because whatever the reason he gave you, why are you still believing it? If a man want to leave, he gonna leave. If a man want a divorce, he gonna get a divorce. No, he just want to have his cake and eat it too. Cake and eat it too. Cake and eat it too. However it go, he want to have that. And you are allowing him to have that. And y'all be okay with that. And I really want to know who hurt y'all that made y'all feel like it's okay to be number two. Because it's not. You should always be number one. Always be number one. Let me rephrase that. Always be the only. Okay? Don't be number one, because if there's a number one, there's a number two, and possibly a number three. Be the only. Stop letting these men trick y'all. Like, stop it, for real.
Women need to understand that if a man is way too nonchalant about the situation, he doesn't care. He does not care. I just finished listening to the phone call between Kevin Gates and his ex-girlfriend or girlfriend Persia. And like, she's literally talking to this guy, talking about like, are you messing with Brittany? And he's like, well, we don't have sex until marriage. Like, that man has already moved on. He's already checked out. And he's just like, not really paying Persia much mind. He's just kind of just talking and being all nonchalant about it. He's done moved on. He's moved on. And the crazy thing about this is like, men will be unemotionally invested in situations once they find something else that they deem better. And Persia's over here thinking that, everything's good and, normal. She thinks everything is good and normal. And next thing you know, she sees Kevin Gates and Brittany just frolicking and having fun together. The man has checked out. I know there's plenty of women in this situation that are just hanging on to men that are just emotionally checked out and they're just not there. I'm just going to let you know, you're wasting your time. He's already moved on. He's not going to tell you he's moved on because, quite frankly, he's probably dealing through some trauma that he has not healed yet from. And he's not really ready for a relationship. He doesn't know that yet. But for your sake, move on. It's not worth it later.
And I really just want to say this. If it's anybody that I want to be like, it's Dreka Gates. That woman is at so much peace. If I get to that level of peace and holding my emotions together and not letting my emotions overcome everything, baby, I would be a bad. I'm trying to told you. That woman is amazing. All she has to show is herself, her smiling, and it's just so much peace. It's like this woman is never involved into drama. She does not put herself in places to be in drama. I admire this woman so freaking much because it's like, who do I need to go to talk to be like that? Because It's like you can't even argue with this woman. This woman would be like, she will plant you a flower.
Okay, so let's have the conversation. So just some disclosures up front. We don't know what's going on in any of these individuals' personal life. We're just solely going based off of what has been told. No judgment. We're just having the conversation so we can learn from it. Okay, so starting with Persia, I probably would have just kept that to myself. If she's upset, she's upset. Who are we to tell her how her genuine feelings are? However, I will say she walked into that tornado herself. Kevin Gates is very vocal in both his music and interviews of what kind of man he is. So my only confusion is like, why are you crying about Kevin being Kevin? Okay, Kevin is Kevin. We all know that. I wouldn't have went publicly with anything because just like she said herself, she knew what she was getting herself into. So if that's the case, then take the L and keep moving. I don't feel like you needed to publicly, say anything or do anything. Okay, point blank, period. When it comes to this whole like, I didn't do anything I would never do anything to mess up somebody's marriage. He's legally separated or whatever she was saying. Let me read the definition of what legally separated is, okay? Because I've said before in my past videos dealing with mistresses and married men that you should not deal with anybody who is not legally divorced, okay? So legally separated means a married couple lives apart but remains legally married, often with a court order agreement that addresses issues like property division, child custody, and support, but without terminating the marriage, okay? Let's look at two key little words here, sentences, okay? It says, but remains legally married, and but without terminating the marriage. So with that being said, it does not matter if they are legally separated or not. You should not be taking a man like that seriously until he is legally divorced. Point blank, period. Do you know how many times I've heard stories where women will say, oh, he said he was getting a divorce and they've been separated for like 5 years? Little do a lot of women know, and I can say this as a divorced woman, literally a lot of times there'd be a lot going on in the background that you have no idea about. Meanwhile, he's still texting his wife every single day asking if they can get back together. Meanwhile, he's still begging for his family back, but he telling you, oh, she won't let me see the kids, and she's begging him to get the kids. You know what I mean? Like, you just never know what's going on in those situations. So you have to be careful with that whole little space of like, oh, we're separated. Like, no, if he's not divorced, then do not deal with him. And even if he is divorced, you need to at least give it some time before you do that. Okay, I wouldn't recommend dating him as soon as he become divorced. Give it some time, then maybe look into that. But that's just not something that I would advise anybody to do if he is not legally married. Okay. And her saying that he kept bringing up how Brittany Renner was ran through and ruined and all this kind of stuff. I've heard somebody say that anytime a man constantly talks bad about a woman, he really liked that woman or he really wants women like that. And that could be true. I don't know, but I know for this situation, it sounds like it's true. If he was downing Brittany Renner to you, which is weird anyway, because who are you? Like, y'all just met, from my understanding, not that long ago. Y'all ain't been dealing with each other that long. That's just my understanding. I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but why is he talking about a whole nother woman to you anyway? So that's a red flag to me anyways. But, yeah, so clearly that probably was the case here. He probably secretly had feelings for her because we clearly see what happened after that, and Persia seems like genuinely she's a good person with a good heart, and unfortunately a lot of good girls get done the worst, just like they say a lot of good boys play last or something, whatever that saying is. Same thing goes with women who are good girls who have good hearts. Like, I was one of those women in the past to where I had such a good heart, let people use me, let people run over me, and I got played every single time. So you have to put your foot down, and you can be considered a bitch to other people, but it don't matter. You got to put your foot down because that's the only way, unfortunately, you can get respect. nowadays. Like, have boundaries, have standards, and stand on them. Don't matter what they think about you, you set those standards, and that's what it is. If somebody does something to mess that up of y'all rules or standards that y'all put in place, then you have to put your foot down on it and not deal with that person at all. Every time that you allow that person to come right back, you're opening up that opportunity for them to do the same thing. So you got to stop always being the nice girl or the good girl and put your foot down. Okay. Now, Kevin, I feel like him personally, he's facing demons and he's fighting demons. He's one of those unhealed men that walks around and just moves from women to women instead of healing his inner wounds and issues. I feel like he will, I don't know what him and Dreka has going on, but I feel like he will always, always, always have a soft spot for Dreka. So even if he gets married to somebody else, because I don't know, they say he Muslim and he can have up to 3 or 4 wives. I don't know. None of that matters. I just feel like he will always have that soft spot for Dreka, especially because she's the only woman who have given him kids as well. So he'll always have a soft spot for like her, their family, etc., especially because she was there for him before he even became a celebrity. Okay. So any woman that comes in after that is going to have to know that and realize that. So I do not recommend. Okay. And I feel like he has a lot of things that he needs to work through. I don't know their personal situation, obviously, but I do feel like they have some type of agreement in place right now of like, maybe they are legally married for certain reasons. Like Kevin Gates, like his last name with Dreka, that carries a lot of weight. That has brought her a lot of opportunity, a lot of business opportunities, a lot of marketing. Like she has a lot of businesses in place and all of that. You know what I mean? So anytime that Kevin gets himself in some type of drama, people go back to her page and they might shop and do all those things. So I feel like that's one of the reasons why she stays legally married to him, for one, to keep the name, and then also to take over his legacy. You know, she has his children. So if something happened to him, she still is the person who has rights to everything. So they probably have some type of agreement put in place, but I don't know if they are still like involved in a monogamous relationship. I think that they probably have some type of understanding or agreement. Okay. Because Dreka's living her best life, honey. She is living her best life. Now, there are some rumors which might make sense. There are some rumors put in place that like Kevin Gates is like DL and he's messed with like trannies and stuff like that. I don't know how true that is. Again, it's just a rumor. But if that is the case, it might make sense to why he's so hypersexual, and it might make sense to why he keeps going to the next woman, or can't stay faithful, etc. So that might make sense. I don't know. But hopefully he gets it together. I feel like he don't need to be dealing with anybody. He needs to just be solely focused on himself, and that's that. And if he is going to deal with other women, I feel like he needs to do it privately. I don't know why he always is doing things publicly that he knows it's going to get people talking, you know? So you going to DDG's Twitch knowing that people's going to talk about you and Brittany Renner, whether you said, you know, y'all didn't do nothing until y'all get married or whatever, you still know how this woman feel about you. Like, I don't know if y'all ever saw her interview she had with Kevin Gates before, but that girl is fanned out by Kevin, in my opinion. Like, she's thirsty for that man. I can see that all in the chemistry and in the vibe and in the energy. They definitely got something going on. Like, they've been kind of had a little connection going on. So, you know, for you to go publicly, like, you knew people was going to talk about that. And it could be a publicity stunt. Some people said that they feel like it's a publicity stunt, and it could be. I remember when he had everybody thinking Dreka cheated on him, and then later on when he was in that interview with Young Miami, was like, I never said it was her. You know, so he knows how to manipulate people's minds to think certain things. And I heard he has a song that's coming out, or an album that's coming out. So this could be a whole plot twist for that. So, I don't know. I just feel like he needs to be by himself. And I feel like he has some inner demons that he's dealing with and battling with. And when it comes to Dreka, you know, I feel like Dreka, she has always been really on her spiritual journey. And I feel like she's still kind of like on her spiritual journey. And she's definitely the embodiment of like a Virgo woman. I'm not talking about Virgo men. We're going to leave them completely out of this. Okay, point blank period, because they are totally different. But she is a Virgo woman, so I feel like she definitely embodies that very well and represents it very well. Virgos do not like low vibrational people. They don't like negativity. They don't like, you know, just negative energy at all. And unfortunately, Virgo women being like that, they attract the opposite. So they attract men who are like toxic. They attract men that are low vibrational, and they attract people who they feel like got to be a project that they have to go in and fix all the time. Like, I need to fix this person, I need to fix that person, blah, 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 right? And I feel like that's the situation with her and Kevin. Like, it's been a lot of, like, lyrics and interviews and stuff of them talking about, like, just their relationship and things they've been through, and he's even rapped about it. So I feel like he was definitely somebody she held on to, that she felt like she loved, but also had to help. And we don't know all the ins and outs. So I don't think she's perfect or anything. I just feel like that he has a lot of things that he was dealing with, and she knew that, but she still stuck by his side. But once you become tired, you become tired. And I feel like at a point in time with her, she's going to legally keep the perks and benefits, but I feel like she's like at the point of like, you know what, I'm not going to let nothing disturb my peace. Because meanwhile, she's just on her spiritual journey, and she's been that way for a while now. Like, I remember following her on YouTube, and she was talking about how, like, you know, she felt a spiritual calling to start a farm. And one day she's just like, you know what, I'm starting a farm. And she told him, like, you can stay here, you can come with me, but I'm going to start a farm. And he was like, you ain't leaving me. So he came, I guess he went with her. But here's the thing, you have to be spiritually aligned to the person who you're with. That's why I always talk about how you have to level up on every aspect so you can attract the person who's for you. Because what happens is, when you're going on one path spiritually, if that other person is not in alignment with your path and you're theirs, then y'all will naturally clash spiritually. And sometimes it's just you outgrow a person. Like, she's on a part of her life now to where she's really at peace. You can see that. You naturally can see that it seems like she's at peace. She's happy. You can see the vibrance of her when she's in her farm, when she's talking about the foods that she's growing, the vegetables, all of that, when she's around her animals. You can literally see that in her. So I feel like he went with her when she started her farm, but I don't know if he was ever at the element that she was at, to where he's at complete peace. I feel like, again, he has his own little demons and energies that he's fighting individually. I don't feel like they're spiritually aligned anymore. I feel like she done the work that she needed to do with him, and now it's time for them to, like, kind of be apart. Unfortunately, not everybody can go with you on certain journeys. So I feel like them two, they built a life together, they built a family together, but I feel like, unfortunately, they're at a point to where it's like they're just different people, you know? Growing into different people. And Dreka, one thing about her is she don't address any type of BS. Like, she don't address none of that. Like, matter of fact, when all this was going on, she did post like an Instagram story. And on her Instagram story, it said, surrender is self-care. Trust that what's unfolding is guiding you into alignment. And that's very much true. Very much true. For all we know, she could have just got into it with him and he went public with Brittany to make her mad. We don't know. We don't know. But, like, for her to say something like that, it just lets me know that she just really knows her purpose. She knows her assignment, and she's just on her path. She can be petty. She could do the same thing. She's very, very attractive. But I feel like she just is kind of on her journey of, like, you know what? I just want peace. Whatever he's doing, that's his business. I'm just focused on being a mom, you know, and doing what I need to do, like, in my own peace, okay? So that's just kind of how I feel about it. And when it comes to, like, Brittany Renner, I feel like Brittany definitely probably converted for him, because when you are really on your spiritual journey, it doesn't matter what religion you go to, that is a personal, private, and individual thing. So I don't know how quick she converted, but the timing of her converting and then all of a sudden being with Kevin is a little fishy to me, because I feel like if you're really serious about this, it should have been solo time with just you and God for like at least like a year, you know, 6 months to a year, whatever. But I'm just saying that it seemed like everything's kind of quick with the timing. Again, I don't know all the ins and outs, but I just feel like, what, you know? And again, I saw her initial interview with Kevin, and it just definitely makes me think like, okay, girl, she was definitely thirsty for him. You could tell she definitely wanted him. So she definitely could have. Women do a lot of crazy things for men and vice versa. So I don't know. But what do y'all think when it comes to the situation? Do y'all feel like anybody's wrong in it? Like, comment, subscribe. I will see y'all in the next one.